I still remember the exact second my heart cracked open like cheap glass. I was standing in the driveway, arms full of grocery bags and a box of the ornaments I'd stayed up all night painting, when my 5-year-old niece Mia looked up at me, chocolate smeared on her cheek, and asked, loud enough for every neighbor to hear, "Uncle Caleb, why does Aunt Lila say you're not really family anymore, just the ATM that talks?" The bags slipped from my fingers. Eggs shattered. Yellow rivers ran between my sneakers. And I just stood there. Frozen. Because a kindergartner had just spoken the truth the adults only dared to whisper when they thought I couldn't hear. My name is Caleb Rowe. 30 years old. My hands are forever speckled with metallic paint and pine dust from painting tiny winter villages on glass balls of glass. People call me quiet because I'm calm. The real reason I'm quiet is that I learned early, the second I open my mouth in my family, someone finds a way to put a price on the air coming out of it. That moment with the broken eggs wasn't the beginning. It was the moment I finally admitted the bleeding had started years earlier. Let me take you back. 2 years ago I was still the golden grandson. My grandmother Rose had just passed, and in her will she left me her midnight blue 2012 BMW, the one that still carried the faint scent of her rosewater perfume. A week before she died she pressed the keys into my palm and whispered, "This one's only for you, Caleb. Not your mother. Not your sister. You. Because you actually work for a living." I promised her I'd keep it safe. I should have known promises to dying women don't survive my mother's smile. It started small. Lila needs the car for a brand trip, just 3 days. Lila's shooting a day in the life and your BMW photographs better than my old Civic. Lila has an important meeting downtown and Ubers are so unsafe for a young woman alone. Every time I said yes, because saying no felt like lobbing a grenade into Sunday dinner. My mother, Diane, tilts her head, sighs, "We're all we have, Caleb," and suddenly guilt is the only currency I'm allowed to spend. Meanwhile my bank account turned into Swiss cheese. $400 for Lila's new ring light. $224, family ads that will totally help your little ornament shop too, honey. $1900, emergency rent because the landlord is threatening eviction and you wouldn't want your niece homeless, would you? I paid. I always paid. Because in my family, love has always come with an invoice attached. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst came on a random Tuesday when I opened my banking app and saw a single withdrawal for $7,200 labeled, Family Cruise Deposit, non-refundable. I hadn't been invited on any cruise. I called my mother. My voice shook so hard the phone rattled against my ear. "Mom, what is this?" A tiny pause, then her breezy Instagram live laugh. "Oh, sweetie, it's a surprise. You work so hard. We wanted to thank you. Lila's already planning the content, it's going to be huge for the brand." "The brand," I repeated. My tongue felt like sandpaper. "You mean Lila's 1.2 million followers who think she built everything herself? Don't be dramatic. We're a team." I hung up. Sat on the icy concrete floor of my rented workshop and stared at that number until it blurred. $7,200. Gone. For a vacation I wasn't even allowed to attend. That night I made my first spreadsheet. I wish I could say it felt powerful. It felt like throwing up everything I'd ever swallowed to keep the peace. Line by line I listed every dollar I'd handed over in 4 years. Mortgage shortfalls. Credit card minimums. Lila's business expenses. The total made me run to the shop sink and retch. $47,813.42. 47,000 reasons they smiled when I walked into a room. I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark with the glowing numbers and made a choice that felt like amputating my own arm. Next morning I drove Grandma's BMW, Lila had been driving it exclusively for 6 months, to a locksmith and had every lock rekeyed, new fob, the works. Then I parked it inside my garage, slapped a boot on the wheel, and changed every password I'd ever shared. Closed every joint account. Ordered a new card reader that answers only to me. Then I sent one email. To my mother, my sister, my stepfather Greg, who only speaks to ask where the remote is. Subject, receipts. I attached the spreadsheet and wrote, "I will no longer fund your lifestyle. Return Grandma's car by Friday or I report it stolen. This is not a discussion. This is a boundary. The replies exploded. Mom, after everything we've done for you. Lila, you're ruining my entire career over a car. Greg, let's everybody just calm down. I didn't answer. I turned my phone face down and painted 60 glass robins until my cuticles bled silver. Friday, 6:17 p.m. Headlights cut across my workshop windows. Lila climbs out, slams the door so hard the car rocks, and hurls the keys at my chest. They leave a red welt I'll carry for days. Here's your precious car, she spits. It's almost on empty. You're welcome. She orders an Uber and never looks back. I stand in the gravel holding the keys Grandma died clutching and cry like I'm 10 years old again. The next morning I drive to Grandpa Ray's little bungalow. He's waiting on the porch with 2 mugs of terrible instant coffee. He doesn't ask questions. Just slides a yellow legal pad across the table and says, "Write down what they owe you, son." I do. When I finish, he studies the page a long time. Then he opens a folder I've never seen and pushes it toward me. Inside is Grandma's real will, the one she had redone in secret 6 months before she died. The one my mother buried. Page after page of assets, savings bonds, a rental duplex, a modest stock portfolio, all placed in a trust. With my name as sole beneficiary. Trigger clause, released at age 30 or, in the event of proven family exploitation. My throat closes. The trust is worth just over $180,000. Enough to buy the brick storefront I've been renting. Enough to hire real help. Enough to never beg for a craft fair table again. I look at Grandpa and all I manage is a broken whisper, "Why didn't she tell me?" His eyes are steady. Because she wanted you to learn you were worth protecting, even if the threat came from your own blood. That was 3 months ago. Today I own my shop outright. The gold-lettered sign reads Row Winter Workshops. I hired my niece's teenage brother Noah part-time. He runs social media better than I ever will and calls me boss without laughing. Lila's follower count is bleeding. She started asking Mom for cash. Mom started calling me again, voice syrupy and tight. "Caleb, we're really struggling, just a small loan until tax season." I let it go to voicemail. Sometimes, late at night, I still catch the ghost of Rosewater when I open the BMW door. Grandma riding shotgun, quiet and proud. And sometimes I wonder. If they'd never taken the car. If they'd never taken the money. Would I have ever believed I deserved more than whatever scraps were left after I paid their bills? Maybe the real theft wasn't the dollars. Maybe it was the years I let them convince me love was something you invoice. So I need to ask you the question that still keeps me awake. When the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally only love what you can give them. When you finally stop giving. Do they lose a son, a brother? Or do you finally set yourself free? Tell me in the comments. Because some nights I still don't know the answer. And if you've ever had to draw a boundary in blood just to protect your own heart. I see you. I'm proud of you. You're not alone.